Can anyone understand the Quran? If Quran could be understood just by reading, deep thinking, or investigating, why do we have so many different ideas or meanings or interpretations, resulting branches in Islam having so many differences between them? Shouldn't these differences awaken us to realize that Quran is not a book to be understood on our own? Shouldn't we pay attention to the answer of this question, which is already told in the Quran? According to the Quran, there is only one way to comprehend the Quran. This is a fact which is always ignored. This ignored fact is the obvious reason behind all the misunderstandings for readers, investigators, and even Muslims. It is never mentioned in the Quran, not even once, that anyone can comprehend it, even if the reader's mother tongue is Arabic. The proper way of realizing the Quran is to be taught by God, the same way that happened for the Prophet, and then his successor Imams inherited his knowledge. So it cannot be achieved solely by anyone just by reading. It is also said that if we have a doubt about the topic, we should ask the qualified person who has received the guidance. Surah number 16, verse number 43, Surah number 21, verse number 7. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Why no one can comprehend the Quran? Because divine books consist of two parts. One is the text, we call it Torah, Bible, and Quran, and the second is called Furqan, which means guidance, that holds the comprehension of the text. Even lots of Muslims say Furqan is another name of the Quran, but they are absolutely wrong. This is another proof that they haven't read the verses carefully. Because guidance or Furqan was also given to Moses together with the Torah, Surah number 2, verse number 53. وَإِذْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ وَالْفُرْقَانَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَهْتَدُونَ. And this guidance was also given to the Prophet with the Quran, Surah number 2, verse number 185, Surah number 25, verse number 1. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا. So, how can Furqan only point to the Quran alone? The guidance or Furqan is exactly the comprehension of God's words, whether that word is Torah, Bible, or Quran. Comprehending the Quran cannot be achieved through our translation or interpretation of the text. So, when even Muslims cannot comprehend the meaning of verses, how can one expect others to be able to understand the true meaning? Especially the general public who are trying to realize the true meaning based on their own efforts, or even those who approach this book with a negative view, especially when they rely just on the Arabic text or simple translation of it, or when they refer to interpretations made by different branches of Islam. Some critics, especially Iranians, who don't even understand the Arabic text of the Quran and don't have a proper translation at hand, or just simply use an Arabic dictionary, claim that they fully understood the Quran and could find contradictions in it. Whereas Allah emphasizes, are they not going to thoroughly investigate the Quran? Had it been from other sources than Allah, they would have found many contradictions for sure, Surah number 4, verse number 82. أفلا يتدبرون القرآن ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا. The above verse, on the other hand, confirms that contradictory conclusions will definitely occur if the Quran is not realized. It is very strange that these people ignore the fact that even guidance of the Quran had to be taught to the Prophet himself, although Arabic was his native language, and then he had to teach it to his followers who would also speak Arabic. If the Quran was easily understandable for Arab people, there would be no need for the Prophet's explanation. It would only take him to recite the verses and people would comprehend the meaning. Based on what is said in the Quran, God is the one who teaches the guidance, or Furqan, to someone who has reached to certain levels of virtue and not just anybody. This fact proves that the true comprehension of the Quran cannot be achieved through religious schools. If anybody living anywhere in the world is a true believer and has achieved necessary levels of virtue, meaning the virtue is his personality and not as a fakery, then gradually the guidance or Furqan will be given to him. Surah number 8, verse number 29. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن تتقوا الله يجعل لكم فرقانا. Result of reading is not comprehending. This is the repeated mistake of vast majority of general public. Islamic centers in Islamic countries teach their own regional version of Islam. Sunnis teach the Sunni belief. Shia teaches the Shia belief. Each one is also divided into branches, which proves its validity, and disproves the originality of the other branches from the very same book called the Quran. So who is right? Whatever Shia used to know from the Quran is the Prophet or Imam's interpretations when they were present, plus some exclusive explanations gifted to some higher level students. We are fortunate to receive some of those, but it is definitely not all of it. So the conclusion would be, if religion is what Shia currently claims, or what Sunni claims, or what Wahhabi claims, then people have the right to refuse Islam, since not only such religion has no value, it ruins our intellect and has brought brutality of mankind. All these are result of illogical beliefs, superstitions, and being close-minded towards other views. If we let Islam to be based on original explanations of Prophet and his successor Imams, not only there would be no doubts or contradictions, but all the questions would also be answered perfectly. This brings us unified conclusion and interpretation. True Islam is so logical that if understood, it overcomes any other belief or religion. This is why God says it is meant to overcome every other belief. Surah number 9, verse number 33, Surah number 48, verse number 28, Surah number 61, verse number 9. لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. Islam does not need to be proven or defended by dispute or prejudice. Whoever has received the guidance or Furqan can easily debate on any topic, like the way Prophet and Imams used to do by answering in the best possible manner. Only this style is accepted by God. Invite to the way of God with wise facts and debate them in the best possible manner. Surah number 16, Verse number 125. ادع إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. The Prophet says, Al-Islamu ya'lu wa la yu'la alayh. Islam supremes and nothing comes over its supremacy. Nahj al-Fasaha, Hadith number 1056. Prophet is definitely talking about the original Islam and not what Muslims are presenting now or during ages. Because this fake fabricated Islam is fundamentally invalid due to its own faults. When Muslims from different branches of Islam are not able to come to a common understanding out of the very same book called the Quran, and the result is lack of respect and even bloodshed between each other, then how can we expect the rest of the world to have no doubts or no anger and show respect towards God and Islam?